What's up, y'all? Good morning. Welcome back. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? How is your mind? You doing okay? Let me hear you. Are you okay? Remember, when you wake up, it's your decision to choose if you're going to have a good day. Not nobody else. It doesn't matter what everybody else does. It doesn't matter how the day goes. It's about your mindset and how you internalize things and respond to them. But anyway, back to what we were talking about in the previous video. We're talking about, are you a leader, right? And disclaimer, I want you to make sure that you go ahead and pray and get the confirmations that you need, because nobody knows everything that makes a great leader. We are on this planet and learning and growing still. It doesn't matter if you're in your 70s or 80s. It depends, because even if then, I don't know if you ever experienced this, but somebody could be in their 40s or 60s and they're talking like as if they were in their 20s, and you're like, so you have not grown at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? The mindset is still immature. And then you could talk to somebody who is in their 20s and it's like, how long have you been on this planet? Because I feel like you know some things. And it all depends on how we go about situations, how we interact with people and things of that sort. By now, you should already know people are going to get on your nerves. They're going to aggravate you. They're going to frustrate you. They're going to make you want to choke them, strangle them. Like, let's be fully transparent and honest with y'all. I'm going to be honest. Like, there's moments where I'm like, oh, you know what I'm saying? I would say maybe a few years ago, I would get so angry to the point where it would just like, I could feel like I probably was going to have a stroke. That's how angry I was, because I would like push things down and never release them. So now, am I releasing, not only just by being, working out and things like that, but, my scripting, my journaling, and just talking to God and having that internal conversation with God, because he always reveals things that we need to be revealed. And that's part of being a leader, is that you can't respond or react right in that instance, especially if you're aggravated or you're frustrated or you're not understanding why people are doing the things that they're choosing to do. Remember, everybody has their own thought process and the own way that they'll go about it. And if you're a controlling person, then I'm sorry, you're not going to be a leader. You're not going to be a good leader, I should say. You might be a leader, but you're not going to be a good leader. You're not going to have people that want to be in partnership with you. In that relationship with your husband or your wife, they're going to look at you like, oh, it's always got to be that way. You might find a significant other that'll sit up there and tolerate that stuff. But is that healthy? No. You should be able to be transparent and have these conversations where you see it from different perspectives. Sometimes people want you to confirm their ignorance. They want you to, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. Yeah, that makes sense. And I get it. And it's like they play the victim. And as being a leader, you cannot play the victim. You have to empathize with people. You have to say, well, did I make them feel that way? Or maybe I did say something like that. And you can move on. And apologizing doesn't make you weak, or it doesn't make you soft. It doesn't make you less than a woman. It doesn't make you less than a man. It actually makes you more, because you can acknowledge the things that you have doing wrong. Where a lot of people, I would say, more of a child mindset. You ever realize a child, you have to explain to them why and what they did was wrong. And sometimes certain children might not even understand that. That's just the same way we grow up and we become adults the same way. You know what I'm saying? The same mindset. So when you're in this world, and even if you feel like you're not a leader, which everybody should feel like they lead in some shape of form, some shape of way. Like, I'm not saying leading like as if you have all the knowledge, because a lot of times it's going to be 110% with you. Leaders do not know everything. That is only for God. Okay? I just had to make that clear. Leaders do not know everything. They're willing to take the time out to find the answer to certain things. They're willing to not be selfish and not worried about all the things that they're going through and problem solve for a whole team, a family, or anything like that. That's why parents are looked as leaders, because you are leading your children into the world. You have to train them up. You have to raise them up in the ways that they should go. You get what I'm saying? So I always go back to why Jesus is such a phenomenal and inspirational leader, because as I told y'all in previous videos, I was all over the place. I experimented with different religions because I just never fit in, I felt like. But also, too, you're not supposed to be fitting in. I'm going to just drop that right there for you. You should not be fitting in. I promise you, a lot of people in groups don't feel like they fit in. They're just there because they don't want to be by themselves. They're afraid of being alone and not. Because being alone and being lonely is two different things. You know what I'm saying? But people, we like to confuse those two. But what I was saying is, being able to get to actually know Jesus and encounter him and realize how he was. Like the fact that, why would you not want to believe that God, that created us, because we all know that we came from something, and we know we like to make excuses of why we don't want to believe the Bible, and we don't want to believe that God is God and all this other stuff. And it's because we don't like to be corrected. And being a leader, you have to give correction, and you also have to be able to be corrected yourself, because at the end of the day, you're not perfect. You will never be perfect. You're human, and you're supposed to be here on this earth growing. So, and you know, I'm not comparing us to Jesus. I never want nobody to ever think that, because honestly, we are supposed to be looking at Jesus as a role model. Honestly, God is God, Jesus is Jesus, the Holy Spirit is Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the guider. He's directing us. He's walking with us. He's like, hey, don't do that. That's not good. Jesus is that role model that we needed. We idolize so many different things, and that's why I was saying in my different encounters of different religions, I was all over the place, and none of it felt right, and I was like, this doesn't make sense, and all this other stuff. But when I came into a relationship with God, and I started to understand exactly why Jesus was here. He was here to show us love, because we are humans. We're so quick to cut people off. We are so quick to be like, you're not doing it this way, and I don't like you, and we like to point the blame. We don't take ownership. And being a leader, you have to be accountable for your actions. You have to take your ownership. You have to be able to acknowledge that, hey, you know, I ain't perfect. And if you think that you are, then you're never going to be a good leader. And a lot of people be like, oh, well, I don't think that I'm perfect. But let's think about every time that you reacted in a situation instead of responding. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you present yourself at work? Are you allowing yourself to show your emotions every time something does not go your way? Are you always having an issue and always having personal problems? Sorry, y'all. Are you always having personal problems and allowing that to affect you? Because the enemy wants you to be distracted. He wants you to think that you're the only one in the world going through this stuff, but you're not. It's just that some of us believe in God, believe in Jesus, and know that we don't have control over a lot of things. And like I was saying yesterday in that video, you're not going to have control. You want control. And as a leader, that's not what leadership is about. It's not about having control. It's not about saying, I have charge of this. It's not about that. It's about being a team player. And that means selfless. I'm not going to sit up here and think about my feelings just in this instinct. I have to think about how many other people are, like, what's going on in their mind. And I need to sit and have a conversation and communicate and figure out what is going on. But we won't do that in the relationships. We won't do that in our, even in our, like, girlfriend and boyfriend, husband and wife relationship. How many times have people just, well, I tried and that's it. But you really don't know the battles that they're struggling with. And that's why I bring Jesus and God into everything, because prayer. Y'all don't understand. Prayer changes everything. You talking to a young lady that was all over the place, was looking for love in all the wrong places, did not feel love, did not think that she was beautiful, did not think that she could ever, you know, really be successful when it came to, like, life goals, as far as, like, physical things, like, you know, having your apartment, having a good job, you know, doing all that other stuff. That wanted to give up plenty 1,001 times, actually tried to. You get what I'm saying? that just felt ashamed and darkened and feeling like this big black cloud was over me. You know what I'm saying? Didn't feel like got the love and support from their parents. We all go through some type of trauma. We all are born into something that we may not agree to, or things don't look the way that we feel like they should look. But how are you going to navigate and direct yourself in that life? You can't do it alone. You need God. You need Jesus. You need the Holy Spirit. And when I say Jesus is like a role model, it's the way he loves and the way that he was patient and the way that he's letting you know. It doesn't matter how religious you are. What about your heart? What about your heart posture? And that's about being a good leader. What about your heart posture? Are you doing things because you want people to like you and want to work with you? Or are you doing things because you want to see them grow? Sometimes we hinder people in their growth because we want to protect them and we want everything to do everything, because at the end of the day, we don't really want it for them. We want all the accolades. We want them to love us the way we want them to. As a leader, are you sitting up there and taking the time out and having deep, nasty conversations? And I'm saying nasty conversations, I mean, the things that we put Band-Aids over. You know what I'm saying? Because as a leader, you're going to have to resolve a lot of those things. And I'm not just talking about in the workforce. I need y'all to open up. I need y'all to really understand. I'm talking about in your relationships. I'm talking about in that friendship. I'm talking about that girl. Y'all got into an argument. Y'all feel some type of way. She acting a dang fool, but something in your spirit is telling you to reach out. But your flesh keeps saying, no, I don't want to talk to her. She acting childish. You have to be the leader and pick up the phone and call. Are you willing to do that?